Hey guys, it's Grayson from BuckyBall. Today I'm happy to announce BuckyBall is coming back this week for a little over a week. It may even be out now by the time you're watching this. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing, and if you're new to Superbuckyball, let me explain what it is and what I mean it's coming back. Superbuckyball Tournament, or SBT for short, is a new game that has recently left its alpha development last year. The game revolves around the idea of superpowered sports. Kinda like Rocket League meets Overwatch, but not as black and white as that sounds. First beta test came out in early December for about a week, which showed significant growth as a potential esports game. The tournament was held with a prize cash pool for NA and EU at the end of the week, all producing amazing results for the game's continued development and growth. Since then, a small but loyal player base has stayed active and well. They stream together, they chat in the official game's Discord all the time, for hours at a time, and even made their own personal Discords with only SBT members. The game developers have also stayed really active, hosting weekly open AMAs in a Discord and provided frequent updates and notes, and much more for the community to stay active and stay up to date on what's going on. But not everyone has the time or the patience to read the pages of chat lines and the articles posted on a Discord or on the Steam page. And if you're not in the chat rooms when it is going on, you may lose out on a bunch of news. As the conversations constantly evolve, and as this is a beta, the news and the meta and the discussions constantly shift and evolve as well. So I want to go over 5 new changes that you will see with this new build of the game coming February 3rd. The devs have been hinting to new content since the last beta, and in December 26th, on their Instagram, released a sneak peek to the 3rd stage that will be coming into SBT. Now we have seen that stage in action and know a lot more about it. First off, it's a 4v4 exclusive stage, meaning it's only meant for a 4v4 game mode, which we'll be covering shortly. It's set on a high-rise building, and part of it being a 4v4 mode, the goal sizes will also increase, keeping it less cramped since we're having more players in the map. Speaking of 4v4, it's actually going to be a real thing, 4v4 game mode. If you don't know, the game launched last beta with 2 extra fun game modes in Mayhem and Dodgeball, which were just arcade modes, and the standard mode 3v3. Now 4v4 isn't going to replace 3v3. 3v3 is still going to be there, but the devs don't know if this is going to be the new flagship or if it's going to take over as popularity. We don't know, but as of now, it's an extra standard game mode that you could find in the standard mode section in the menu's UI. Regardless if this mode takes over as the new flagship or not, we'll just have to wait and see. Either way, it will be a refreshing addition to the game. Something new but less important is the new menu UI. The art behind looks the same, but the tabs and just how the buttons are laid out, everything is much more cleaner and well organized. The old UI looked like it was hastily put together, which some may like, but this look personally looks more premium and thought out for me. Your friends list looks to be at the corner with a friend or social icon as its function button, as to its settings tab being replaced with only a gear icon, so keep that in mind if you're having a hard time trying to add friends. I know some characters were unable to show up in the menu screen, like Samba and Ariel, because they were so new, so I hope they are able to add new characters into the menu's loading screen just so we could keep the Samba mains out there happy. Something new that may not go noticed is also the implication of new server locations. We were told that the devs were thinking of only having NA servers again like last beta. Well, I believe they also had an EU server, but the point was there was only an NA server and an EU server pretty much. Now they added new server locations for more players to enjoy. For example, now there is a server located in Sao Paulo. Before, South American players had to play on the US server, which meant a complete disadvantage the farther they were from North America. I remember facing a South American team in the tournament, and we completely destroyed them. Partly because they couldn't handle the ping. It was so bad for them. They were just whiffing shots and making the wrong plays. They just couldn't keep up. So with this new server being up, it can help the game grow in different areas and different communities, and hopefully we can see changes in the game. How the US player base plays different from the Chinese player base. We could have the same thing for a South American player base. It's either way, this is great for the game, great for the players who are located in those areas and having to deal with ping. Hopefully these servers are going to be utilized very well by those players in those locations. There's a whole bunch of them. You can see them on the screen right now, and that's awesome news for everyone involved. With this new introduction of servers is also the leaderboards being universal now. Before, we couldn't see what EU players' stats were or how many wins they've had. We had to switch server regions by exiting the game and going back into it. Now it's going to be universal, globally, which is going to be awesome. We could stay tightly knit with other players, even though we may not be playing against the same players because, again, they're located in different areas and pings would just be a disadvantage for different teams. But either way, this keeps the community tight, but at the same time allowing people to enjoy their internet connections better. Another part of this is friends. Before you had to actually, again, switch servers and add friends and make your another account essentially for that server that you're going to play on. Now, it's again going to be universal. You don't have to switch regions. You could add a friend that's in the EU and you may be in Canada playing on an NA server. It's totally fine. Great stuff from the Pathea game developer. The last beta introduced Samba and Ariel into the mix. And now with this new beta coming up, we're also going to get a new character in Skylar, a Tai Chi inspired character. I forgot what position she was designed for. I think the devs mentioned it, whether it's a mid or forward, but she definitely has scoring ability with her ultimate. By far the most coolest looking character, in my opinion. She gives me this Matrix vibe with her long trench coat type of jacket and her sunglasses that she wears. Maybe it's not as much leather or as shiny as the Matrix, but it still gives me that look. Her moves consist of an active ability to jump or retreat back a few steps with or without the ball, which allows for a shot buff or shot accuracy buff to last for 2 seconds after she performs these moves. And it's kind of like Pink's ability, having 3 charges and they charge over time. So really unique move, and we're going to see how that's going to take place as the game evolves, and we'll see how players use it, utilize it. Maybe they could come up with some super sick shots with it, super sick tempo plays. We'll just have to wait and see. Her ultimate is like a dragon thing where it's like an animation, sucks the ball in, then she shoots it out. It has pretty long range. It's also pretty much anti-CC in the sense that you can't really knock it out of her hands because it's stuck in an animation. Other ultimates can affect it, but yeah, we'll just have to see how it looks with everything going on. There is an AMA article speaking of this more. I'll try to put it down below, but it's in the Discord, so we'll just have to. If you're in the Discord, I'll try to tell you the timestamp for it. But yeah, she also has a passive ability, which is the acrobat one, just like how Ling has it. You can jump on heads, you can jump on walls. She's very mobile. Again, she may look broken for some people, and we'll see how it actually goes. Like I've been saying, the devs do stress that she is a new character and tweaks will come as time goes by. We'll have to see what needs to be nerfed, what needs to be buffed, just as how we have to see all these other characters. Again, this is a beta for a game that isn't out yet officially. Lastly, we're going to be talking about new mechanics. The first we have is an anti-CC or whatever you want to call it. Basically, it's a shield in form of an aura that covers you when you enter a goal post and kind of stays with you as you leave for a few seconds. This keeps bullying down and forces the opposing team to be more tactile with the ball instead of just forcing it in. I don't know too much about this mechanic, but I'm His Wife did an excellent video showing off this new feature in its entirety. His video will be linked below if you want to see how that is used and what abilities affect it, what abilities don't. The second mechanic is a tackling feature. Each character has this ability to tackle another player with or without the ball. This causes them to fall or be slowed down like a stun, and if they have the ball will be launched out of their hands and becomes a loose ball. Player with the ball can actually use it as well to push players away and keep the people from trying to steal it as they advance the ball. So there's some interesting tactics that can be used, but again, I'm His Wife showed this feature in his video, so I stress watching that video if you want to see him play it, because again, he did get to do the pre-beta test with a few others, so he's able to actually have footage and show it off in its entirety, and you could see just how unique it is, and it definitely needs a lot of tweaking from what I saw and what he says about it. At the current stage, it looks to be a little too toxic and abusable, but we'll just have to wait and see. The devs have since mentioned possible cooldown being added to this tackling feature, as well as other potential fixes to fix this mechanic to be more friendly, more agreeable to the player base. I'm His Wife's video will be down in the link below, where he goes into way more detail and shows it off in the game. So that's it for my all-in-one update for the upcoming beta for February 3rd. It may be out now by the time you're watching this, so check it out. There's other new items and skins, of course, and challenges that will probably be in the game. Maybe a Lang skin and a few things to keep it fresh and new. And if you played it last time and you're thinking about playing it, I say give it a shot. The game's a little different now than last time. Maybe you'll enjoy it more optimized, as again, it is a beta. If you've been looking for a game that's you want to grow with and start off young with, like you wish you were at the beginning of Rocket League, or you wish you were at the beginning of Overwatch, because there's streamers or players or whatever that have grown with the game and have created these huge communities within the game. here's your shot to start a new one. This is a potential game that has potentially a good esports title in the future. So, hop in now before it gets too saturated, I guess. The game also features an intense esports level of skill that isn't at its fullness yet, if that's a word I could use. It's still in its infancy. There's a lot more that we're still discovering, a lot new techniques, and players are finally able to perform really cool shots, and we're just barely getting there. So again, I can't stress this enough. Play it. Maybe you'll be really good at it. Maybe you could be one of the top players. You could be the Kronovi of this game. It doesn't really matter, of course, but the point is, the game's very new, not even in its early access stage yet, but it's still awesome, and I suggest you play it. I'm not even sponsored. I wasn't told to make this video. I just really like this game, and I suggest you play it because it's really fun, and I hope it succeeds. So if you're interested in the game, check it out. The Steam link will be down below. And if you want to learn more about SBT, about whether it's news, walkthroughs, or interviews with prominent members, consider subscribing, as that's what I try to offer to my viewers, plus other content, as you'll see. And don't forget to like. Have a great day.